Everybody, it's Bruce Nature Calls, and I'm over at my craft guild. It's my wood workshop, and what I'm doing tonight is I'm going to make a kind of like a jig that I can use to cut the Ripstop nylon. It's one of the things that, being a home DIY hammock quilt maker, just being able to cut long pieces of ripstop in a straight line, it's really kind of a real pain. So when I went out to local lumber store or whatever, got a couple of real cheap pieces of like molding pieces. I think they're about 7 feet long. About 7 feet long. A couple carriage bolts, a couple washers, and some wing nuts. What I'm going to do is just make a little straight edge clamp so I can put my fabric in here and then run a hot knife down it. Just something real easy, but this whole project will be about $12. And considering what I've spent for really high-tech scissors and all that kind of stuff, this is going to be cheap. So let's get to building. Alright, so my plan is, these are just bolts, maybe 2.25 inches wide, and what I want is to be able to clamp my fabric in between and then take my little solder blade, and then just run it right along there and be able to cut straight pieces of big pieces of ripstop nylon, and then it also cauterizes the ends, so you get a double whammy. So this actually I'll be able to do. This is wide enough where I can put in a standard or even the wide fabrics and be able to cut them wholly. But even like in a long one, like right now I'm making a quilt, and it would be too long to fit in here, but I can just fold it over and slip it in there and get a straight cut. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to cut this one that's going to be laying on top just about 1/2 inch narrower, so I can run my hot knife right along that edge. Yeah, I could do it all with aluminum and do all kinds of fancy things, but really it doesn't have to be that perfect. It has to be, it's nice to get a somewhat straight line, and also it's I don't want to spend a ton of money. That's kind of the whole glory of doing DIY and keeping the price down. So about $12 and I'll be good. So let's rip this down a little bit and see what we come up with. Alright, so now I just gotta drill some holes to put those carriage bolts through. And I've clamped 2 boards together just to make it simple. I'll drill 1 hole and go right where I need it. Alright, so I'm not really doing this like super, it's got to be like precise, because I really don't think it has to. The only edge, the edge is what we want to be precise. So now I'm going to take the carriage bolt, and that has the so it'll just self-seat in there, plus it'll be somewhat smooth. I could recess the other side, that might be a good idea. In fact, I am going to do that, because I want to be able to lay this right on my table. But I did do this little recess, so now when I lay this on my table, then it won't scratch my table. So I do all my stuff right on the dining room table. But now we're just going to seat that carriage bolt, because it has little pieces that kind of bite in, and that'll draw it right up into that little recess. Right, so now I've moved.
Hey followers!
Pathetic. So now I've moved my fancy nylon cutting deal, and I've already done. So right now I'm working on an underquilt, and I needed to cut strips of this argon 67 into 13 inches for. Well, you'll see that in another video. But so this is why I'm actually built this, so I could make long straight cuts, and it cauterizes. And so one of my strips on the underquilt is going to be this black, and the other is going to be this gray. And so let me set up and I'll show you how we do the gray. I didn't want it super long to cut. Like this underquilt will be roughly 6 feet long. I didn't need this to be that big, so I can. The fabric is 2 yards or 6 feet, and so all I have to do is fold it in half. So I just fold it in half and then clamp it together, and then I'll be able to get my 13-inch cuts nice and straight and have them cauterized. So I'll get that set up, show you here in a minute. And so I've got it folded over, kind of roughly where I want it, and roughly all the edges where I need it. And then just put that down. I just kind of leave that kind of loose, and then get my measurement down. So it's folded in half, so it'll all go together. So just need to fix that until it's 13, but now I can just pull it. And actually, my daughter was helping me before, but now she's laughing too much. Now I've got this stretched out to where I want it, and we'll tighten that down. So now I've got I can just run this hot solder pen, and I do still need to kind of press down in the middle, but this just melts and cuts the nylon beautifully. But then it recauterizes it right away. So we just gotta kind of give a little bit of a tug, and away it goes. What's nice is it actually cauterizes this piece over here, so it's easier to adjust as well once I get there. So I go to cut my next piece. But now this edge here is kind of cauterized, so you kind of got to go pretty quickly after you've heated it and cut it, and make sure it's separated. Because I found if I wait too long, it just kind of glues itself back together. But there we have a nice uniform 13-inch piece, and you'll see that actual article later, but now I just got to slide that up. So there you go. That is my new underquilt hammock / everything help me cut it thing. I hope this helps you out. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.